Well, the Minnesota Wild roster is down to 30 players, and we take a look at who is still left and vying for a spot. Plus, the GOAT, the legend, my very favorite Linda Cohn joins us to not only talk about the Seattle Kraken and her predictions for the upcoming season, but Taylor Swift. As always, we're created by New Voice Studios, brought to you by Talk North, presented by SotaStick, Grain Belt, Royal Credit Union, Livea, and Jim Beam. This is Season 6, Episode 247. At Jim Beam, they know the importance of tradition. Like chanting, "Let's play hockey" prior to the start of each game, or playing the state of hockey anthem after a Wild win. This season, raise one to your fan family with a bourbon that invites us all to come as friends and leave as family. Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey, the official bourbon whiskey partner of the Minnesota Wild and XL Energy Center. Drink smart. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2021. James B. Beam Distilling Company, Incorporated, Fairmont, Kentucky. Hello, everybody. What's up? We're back. Bardown Beauties, episode 247. I'm Jesse Pierce, writer for NHL.com. She's Kirsten Kroll, in arena host and entertainment correspondent. And joining us a little bit later will be the legend, the GOAT herself, Linda Cohn, to talk a little bit about the Seattle Kraken, the NHL season as a whole. Because Kirsten, we're here, baby. Preseason fully underway. We each had home games this weekend. You had 2. I had 1 because it's preseason. And next week, the home opener.
Hockey is back, baby. It felt so good to go back into the rink for the very first time Friday night because some of us were there. Others of us had other priorities.
Were there. Losers.
Whatever. Anywho, it was amazing. It was genuinely first day of school. I got to see all of my old friends. Marc-Andre Fleury walked 2 feet in front of me and I fangirled so hard. It's like I had never seen a legend before.
Did you say hello? Was there
absolutely
speaking?
not? No, what do you say? I didn't say anything. I just was like, oh my God, that is him. He is him. Anyways, yeah, I'm very excited to be back at the rink, up to my usual shenanigans once again. And it's just really fun. It's great. I'm excited.
Yeah, I was not there Friday because I did something I never do. And I took a day off and went and enjoyed myself far too much. I'm glad you're only able to do that for a weekend. We did it.
Naps.
We survived. Nobody got hurt from my weekend or on the ice. So things were swimmingly. I was there Sunday. And that game couldn't have been more blech. But
I'm going to just say it. It was not a fun game. I was bored. I was bored. I was I'm getting paid. It means nothing. I was exhausted. Yeah. And I was like, I'm happy to be back. I'm just here to hang out with my friends.
Right.
Let's do this again, the home opener, but we are doing it again tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, the day the episode comes out.
Yes, exactly. Chicago Blackhawks in town. No, I do not know if Connor Bedard will be on that roster. Again, as it gets closer and closer, Minnesota will go to Chicago for one more preseason game too. They have whittled their roster down to 30 players, Kirsten, as of today. Again, no real surprises. You saw Caden Bankier, Carson Lambos, Ryan O'Rourke, David Spacek down to Iowa. And then you've got Travis Boyd, Brendan Gaunce, and Devin Shore on waivers with the intention of reassigning them to Iowa. And then you're sending Riley Heidt back to Prince George. Again, all of those make a lot of sense. I thought Travis Boyd had a really good camp, and I think he's a guy that's probably going to get a look once he comes up here. I think the chemistry between Boyd, Gaunce, and Devin Shore really showed last night in particular when they scored, that beautiful little goal right in front. Marco Rossi scoring the other goal against the Dallas Stars last night.
And we had a preseason fight.
Yes, but this happens all the time. I feel like this was always.
But I was so excited.
It was a good one. It was good. Brandon Gaunce stepped up to the challenge after Travis Boyd got cross-checked over into the boards. So Gaunce did that. Yeah, I think, again, no surprises. What does surprise me, though, Kirsten, 30 players. Again, we've got 2 more preseason games. Iowa camp does, in fact, open today, so it's a little thin, so that'll plump up. But you still have Graham Clark, who was hurt on Sunday, left the game after, I believe he blocked a shot. I can't quite recall. Again, I apologize. It was a preseason Sunday afternoon game for me. It was not all there for Jesse, but he's still out and about. You still have Liam Ogren, Ben
Mhm.
Jones, Reese Johnson, Damon Hunt, Michael Milne, and Jesper Valstad. Michael Milne came into camp hurt, and that's unfortunately happened for him a couple times. I have to double check his official status. He's not listed as injured, but those are the guys. Reese Johnson, former Chicago Blackhawk, who actually injured Jared Spurgeon last year during the preseason. Ben Jones has had a really, really good camp. And Damon Hunt is another guy that has been on the radar for a little bit while. A little bit while. A little while, I believe is what I intended to say. Um, do you think any of them push out? I think Liam Ogren is obviously top of that list for us, Kirsten. Do you think any of them have a chance of maybe surprising and bumping Liam Ogren out of that slot and taking over?
I don't think there's anyone that's going to bump out Liam Ogren. We talked about this. It's Liam Ogren's spot to lose, but also his to gain. Um, I was very pleased to see him still on that roster. Again, wasn't shocked this morning. He's still up
Mm.
there. I've been happy with how he's played and excited to hopefully continue to see him build off where he ended in those couple of games last season. But I don't think there's anyone who's going to outdo him. It's Liam Ogren or nobody.
Yeah, obviously Matt Boldy's injury allowing for some other guys to shine. But I anticipate we will know the final roster. We will know the opening night lineup very, very soon. Um, in general, again, I take preseason with such a grain of salt. Like it's just kind of it is what it is. It's great if you can win. It's I don't know. I don't know.
You
It's
were hanging out with me eating dill pickle wings last
we
night,
did
which
have a
I
request.
was choking on the seasoning. Like I
It was a
inhaled a
lot.
handful of it and I just was coughing everywhere.
Yeah, my apologies. It was a bit much. We did have a request to perhaps create this into a weekly piece of content for the
Done.
Bardown Beauties, which I think, you know what?
Done.
Why not? I heard that there was new cookie dough. I was informed of that
Ooh,
last night.
say less.
Yep, that used to be my thing a while ago. Love that for us. No, the dill pickle wings, which you can get at the tap house, which are on the concourse level, kind of back in the corner near one of the gate entrances. I don't know which one exactly. But you get to stroll past Kirsten's Perch on your way there if you go from gate one to the right. They were fine. I usually love dry rubs on my wings too. And there was a good little bit of spice to it as well. And it
Mhm.
wasn't overpoweringly dill pickle, but I wasn't like in love. You know what I mean?
I love a good lemon pepper dry rub. That
Okay.
is my hands down. It was good. I just, like I said, I like accidentally inhaled a lot of the seasoning and I just was dying, like literally
Yeah.
in preseason. Also, anyone watching the video format of this episode, I'm sorry. I literally, if you're watching, you're like, why does Kirsten keep checking herself out and like playing with her hair? I just got bangs today. And you guys are
But
literally
let's
like
let's
20 minutes
clarify.
ago.
Like the curtain bang, like not bangs, like you didn't have a meltdown and get bangs like people do. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
But like
Right?
these are still short. Like
I
the
like it pulled
shortest
back.
piece is like blowing in my face. Like I can't see. I
Yeah.
have to keep pushing them away. So literally, guys, I got this done 20 minutes ago. Anyone watching is getting an exclusive. This is fresh out the salon right now.
Fresh out that salon. I'm just playing with my hair because I'm full of myself and I want to make sure I look good. So
I'm just like, I don't know how to work these yet. I don't know what I am doing.
it's a learning process. You know, we're all learning, we're all growing together in the season. The only other real update I have for you guys again before we are joined by Linda Cohn of ESPN and of the Seattle Kraken a little bit this year is Bill Guerin continues to chirp me and not leave me alone.
It makes me so happy. I'm going to let you have the floor with this one because I want to hear the story again.
Oh my gosh, it
And I
was
want it to
ridiculous.
live forever online and in audio format.
Oh my gosh. So I get in the elevator post game to go downstairs, and it happens to be Bill's in there along with all the other scouts, all of his other posse, if you will. And normally I would say hi, but I don't know. I didn't care to. There was no reason, no rhyme or reason. I wasn't, just standing there doing my job. And we start to go down, and all of a sudden I hear Billy, who's like probably so Kelly, who handles the elevator, sitting in a chair, and then Billy's right behind her, and I'm right next to Kelly, waiting to go down. And Bill goes, the only thing that would have made this preseason worse is if we had Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid on the roster. And I was like, what does that even mean? First of all, that doesn't even mean anything. And then I said, God damn it, Billy. because I couldn't think of what to say. Like, I wasn't sure. I knew it was immediately directed at me. And I said, I still stand by what I said. And I said, it makes sense in my mind. And he goes, that's the only place it makes sense. And I just couldn't think quick enough on my feet. I was like, I don't even know. And like one of the other media members, like, what was that? And I was like, don't worry about it. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to carry on. And again, it was very jovial, very gestured in manner. It wasn't necessarily mean, but he's not going to let me live this down.
I don't want you to live it down. Like, this is just an iconic moment. I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It just keeps, and for those that have missed it, this has been ongoing for like a month now. About a month ago on Judd's hockey show, Bill Guerin was there, and uh, it was a bit of a hot mess. I was coming rushing in from our Beauties shoot. I was late. I was having connection problems, and then we were talking about the Edmonton Oilers because Draisaitl had just signed an 8-year contract extension, and I had said, yeah, but it's going to be hard for the Oilers to build around that when you have those two players locked up. And he's like, oh, like I was saying that was the worst thing. Like, yeah, I'm sure they wish they had a bunch of fourth liners instead of the number 1 and 2 player. Like I understand what he's saying too, but I didn't even get a chance to like redeem myself because I think what I'm saying is sound. Like you're then saying that you just need those two guys to win. That's not the case. If that were the case, you would have done it by now. But you need to get some of those other contracts off. You need to have the right pieces in place. And right now, Edmonton is going to be kind of struggling to do that. Yes, super lucky that they have Khan and that they have Leon. All right, that's awesome. That's good for them. Great players, excellent players. But that's all I meant by it.
I feel like this is the gift that keeps on giving, and it brings me a lot of joy. And I'm going to continue to make fun of your misery in this instance.
Like you should have seen how much it threw me off. Like I didn't ask a single
I
question.
would have paid money to see.
Like I was just so taken aback. Like we're still doing this, huh? We're still
You're not
doing
going to
this.
live it down.
I should have reminded him it was my birthday Saturday just to keep that one going too. Like, hey, you didn't wish me happy birthday.
Be nice to me. It was my birthday. It's my birthday month.
I mean, the funny thing is, I'm like, any rebuttal I have, I feel like I would be too mean. Like, I would cross a line. Like,
probably. But honestly, that could also gain you
sucks.
some respect.
I know, right? Like, it could be funny, but I am excited for this as well because it's kind of fun. It's one of those things like, oh, he does like me then. Like, he thinks, although also I think it's because he knows I can't come up with anything back. And so I'm just stuck there like a sitting duck. And it's like,
I think he's waiting for you to snap.
He's going, yes. Again, I look forward to the next interaction, which I believe will be probably Tuesday. So we'll come up with something witty. Let me know if you guys got anything good to say back to him. We're gonna take a quick break. That's that. When we come back, Linda Cohn, stay tuned. Hey guys, Jessie Pierce here for Livea. Fall is a great time to reset your goals and prioritize you and your health. Join Livea today and you could lose 20 pounds or more by Thanksgiving. Livea is a doctor recommended and customized for you. Start today and take advantage of Livea's big fall savings. Plus, semaglutide and trizepatide are available at significantly reduced prices. Join the #1 weight loss plan in Minnesota and call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit livea.com. That's livea.com. Don't wait, Livea works. I am a prime example. As a brand ambassador for Livea, I have loved the one-on-one support that has not only helped me lose 40 pounds, but keep 40 pounds off thanks to my friends at Livea in the Woodbury Clinic. I couldn't have reached my goal without them. You can do the same. Do what I did. Make the call and you will lose the weight with Livea. Expert guided support plus the most competitively priced weight loss medications available. Livea is the most trusted leader in weight loss. So what are you waiting for? You can lose 20 pounds or more by Thanksgiving. Again, visit livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVEA today. Let them know Jessie Pierce and the Bardown Beauty sent ya. We're back. Joining us, the legend herself, my favorite person in the world, next to Kirsten, of course.
Of course.
Linda Cohn. Linda, what is going on, my friend? Welcome back.
Oh
I think
my
this is
gosh.
like your third round with the Bardown Beauty, so we're so thrilled to
Yes.
have you back.
Every time you ask me, I've never turned you down. I mean,
I
I'd be
know.
nuts to, for goodness sake. But first of all, so great. You continue to rock and crush it. It's so fantastic. And just keep it up. And thank you for including me in this episode. And that's number one. Okay.
Yes.
The other thing. So what's up? Where should we start? Before we get into the hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever go through those phases where I'm trying to eat better, but you just sort of like, I admit it, I am addicted to the sugar carb thing, but I don't
Naturally.
eat crap. Right. I don't eat the crap. So I make my excuse of like eating like, the acai bowls with the tons of fruit. Like, oh, that's not as bad as eating like, Haagen-Dazs or, these kind of things. So I play this game with myself.
Mm.
But you know what? It makes me feel better. Is that
And it's
wrong?
and it's good, right? Like it's good.
Right.
It's the
It's
fruit
fruit. There's
sweetness.
yes, the sweetness. So during this, I'll be finishing this because God forbid I put it down. When an addict cannot stop midway,
It's
you
true.
know,
You
of her
gotta go.
fix.
Well,
Yeah.
and to be fair, at least you're going that route. I just had a handful of those. Have you guys had the nerd clusters?
Oh
Oh
gosh, what
no.
is that?
It's just pure sugar and it's probably awful for you. They're so good. Like I intend to buy them for the kids and then I just
Yeah,
eat them instead. Same with Gushers. I bought a whole
gushers.
like box of them and the kids didn't have a single one because I
Oh
hate them.
man.
I
Yeah,
know.
mommy needs what mommy needs.
Linda, I support your choice of foods right now. That's healthier than
Thank you.
anything I've eaten today,
Thank
or
you. That's
honestly,
like
this whole weekend. So,
Kirsten, thank you, man. I mean, it's just, and then I go through the guilt trip. It's the cycle.
Mhm.
I don't know how people do it. I really don't. Maybe serious drugs, they do it. I refuse. But anyway, let's not talk about it.
But you know
Um,
what? To
yeah,
benefit, you were playing tennis prior to this. You needed a refuel.
nice.
You needed, how did
Exactly.
it, yeah, you like that segue? That was pretty good, huh?
Okay. By the way, thank you for bringing that up. And that does make me also feel better
Yeah.
because, yes, I mean, the body wants what it wants. So I played tennis, very good team. So we're playing this league. I'm in Southern California, I'm in LA. And that was one of the cool things in the South Bay. And that was one of the cool things. It's like back in the day, even before I played hockey, I played tennis. My mother always wanted me to play tennis. And I was good. I mean, I really was good. Like pros said that, but I got distracted by hockey. And then I was a goalie and I played hockey and the rest is history. So anyway, when I moved here 6 years ago, I hadn't played tennis in a million years, and it's so easy to play out here because of the weather. Sorry, rubbing it
Mm,
in, but
thanks. That's
it is
fine.
what it is. So I joined this league and it's good. I mean, I'm the top line of this league. It's a lower division, but I play line one. So I always play a good team.
There
And
you go.
it's ladies doubles.
I was gonna
And
say, is it doubles? It's doubles
yeah,
then. Okay.
it's
Were you always
doubles.
doubles or did you do singles when you were playing?
This league is doubles.
Okay.
So, and it's interesting. I'm playing with a new doubles partner this year. And, she has her strengths and then she doesn't. Not that I'm perfect, but I don't know about you guys. When you play team sports, right? Or let's say tennis, it's draining to be the one person that is always, come on, being the life coach, and
Yeah.
that's what I felt like I was doing.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no more. I got to concentrate on my game.
Mhm.
And I did, but I don't know. So, we lost in straight sets, 6-2, 6-4. We blew a 4-2 lead in that second set. Could have forced a third set, but
Mm.
so I'm rewarding myself. So half depressed of losing and half I burned off like 5 calories. So I'm going to throw on about 700 calories right
You know what?
here.
That seems
You
perfect.
you've earned it. And you talk about contributions to team sports. The only thing I quite possibly have to offer is being a locker room personality. So all I bring is the vibes. I can contribute
Nice.
that way. I need somebody else to pick up the rest because I'm not going to be able to get that done ever for
Okay.
anybody.
Well,
Which is the
yeah, I just hold on. Kirsten, define locker room personality. Are there many layers to that, or what makes you you know, that
I
strength?
I'm the jokester. I keep the mood
Okay.
light. If we are down 10 points, like in a volleyball game, I'm there to lighten the mood, make sure I'm boosting the morale for everybody else. That's all I got. I make sure
Well,
I'm there to make sure everyone's having a good time.
Mhm.
well, that's what we needed. We
Yeah.
needed Kirsten today to take over that load for me so she could be doing that for my doubles partner while I could focus on my game and not worry about playing life coach at the same time.
Linda, I'm
Yeah,
So,
inviting
that's
myself out to one of your matches and I will make a
okay.
sign. I will bring snacks. I will be there.
Snacks are good. Obviously, we've established snacks
mhm,
are good.
important. Important. I'm the competitor. I can't lose. Like I hate losing, and I try to like
Yeah,
calm myself down a little bit, but
right.
I'm like in every little
Yeah.
aspect, I'm like, no, it has to be perfect. We have to win. We have to do it this way.
But it's
Which,
tough when you don't, it's tough when you don't have the control, Jess.
yeah, I
So
know.
you're playing doubles tennis, there's just so much one can do.
But that's always good. I've heard there's a couple guys. Nick Bukestad, big tennis guy. Zach Parisi, big
Mm,
tennis
mm,
guy.
mm.
I feel like there's a lot of guys that have really they love them some tennis, especially now. It's just a good sport. Are you pickleball too? Do you do
Well, I
pickleball as
thought
well?
I was ready for you to bring that up.
Yeah.
No, I frown upon pickleball, no offense, but
I hear that's a common thing for tennis players.
get your own courts. Don't take our tennis courts. All right? Get your own courts. If you love it so much, you'd bend over backwards.
Yeah.
Do not get our tennis courts. So that's the only problem I have with the pickleball. I've never played it, but I have no desire to. I really don't.
It's all right. I've dabbled. It's okay. It's a good time. I'm not very good at tennis though, and for some reason pickleball is a little bit easier for me.
I think that's the attractive, no offense, Jess,
Yes.
but I
No,
think that's
hey.
the attractive the quality of it because it gets people who normally don't play tennis like, all right, you got me off the couch for this. Okay. To me, I
Mhm.
look at it as like, and people who play pickleball always tell me like, oh man, it is great exercise. It looks like we're just standing in one place, but it is. I go, it looks like ping pong to me standing. I don't know. And it's that noise, that
Yeah,
incredible noise is irritating.
I
Yes,
like
that's
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Kind of like
I
that.
won't do it again. I won't
Oh,
do it
please
again.
don't.
Well, let's shift to hockey, shall we? We
Oh,
talked goaltending, and today when we're recording, we can't ignore Cam Neely's comments about Jeremy Swayman. Did you guys all see this? I know you were probably playing tennis when this dropped, Linda.
I
Cam,
was something about what's the latest? Because I was on the radio this morning and I was
yeah.
asked by this time next week, do you think Jeremy Swayman will be signed, sealed, and delivered back in Boston? I said yes. I said
Mm.
yes. But what is this breaking news for
Cam
me at this
said
moment?
Cam indicated that an offer had been made by the
Oh,
Boston Bruins because Cam Neely said, if I were him, I would have 64,000 reasons to be out there playing ice hockey, which leads
I
you to
mean,
believe they
64
went
million.
64
64,
million reasons. Excuse
yes.
me. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
64,000. That wouldn't be
64,000. That's not right. That'd be a little low. If I were
Yeah.
Sway, I would have said no to that as well, probably. 64
Wow.
million.
For how many years?
It again, he didn't delve into it. I would guess 8x8, right? Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. That's a
Um,
lovely guess. Your
it's
math is very on point.
on point
Yeah.
there. But what are your thoughts on that?
It's probably
I
not,
don't
well,
love the tit for tat that they're doing right now. The
no, all that
organization's not great.
does, right, all that does is piss Swayman's people off. Like, you want to play that game? All right, we're going to expose you. No, it doesn't make him look good. He's trying to win over the fans saying, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
64 million. Again, we're going to assume it's 8 years. I don't think it's enough. I mean, I think it should be at least 72, maybe upwards of that.
Mhm.
They're not making the playoffs without Jeremy Swayman. They're not. They're
Do you
not.
do you think it was just irresponsible for them to not have taken this before getting rid of Allmark as well, right? Like I
Yeah,
look at it that I'm like, it just felt very irresponsible on the Bruins part.
yeah, and there was some kind of lost in translation there in conversations that, they missed the boat here. They just assumed everything would be right in the world. Well, it isn't. I mentioned this morning on the radio, I mean, no more hugging. No more hugging going on there. There's no Linus Olmark. And now the other half is not hugging anybody except hopefully his representation. When I'm telling you, I think they have all the leverage. They don't have to go back. I don't even care. I don't even have a dog in this fight, and
Mhm.
it's hard for me as growing up in New York, even caring about the Bruins, honestly. But, you know, but if I am Jeremy Swayman, I'm like, oh, you want to play that game? Okay, I'm going to sit it out. See ya. I got no problem with that.
I was just about to say that same thing. Swayman has every card in his hands right now in his
Right.
team. So, like, why wouldn't you utilize that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just think that's disappointing by Cam Neely that he did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you stand by? So you had said this morning that you think it's done. Do you think it'll still get done before next or by
Well,
the
if
end
I
of
would have
next week?
known this
Right?
information,
Yeah.
but this morning, this information didn't come
I'll have to
out.
start sending you those texts. Like, hey, I know you're on the
Yeah,
tennis court, but here's your
it
breaking
was
news.
early though, Jess. It was early
Yes.
when I was on the radio, but yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
No, I don't feel as confident, Kirsten. to answer your question. Nope,
Mhm.
I do not. And if he does like just suck it up and go, I don't like that. It's almost emasculating. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, tail between your legs. All right, you
Yeah.
showed me. Now
Right.
I'm, now if I was gonna go, now I'm not even going.
I know. Well, it's like you've already carried it out this long. Both sides have already been like, yeah, you can't just give in now. Now it's just going to really go
Right.
into a
It's
dogfight.
exactly, for sure.
Sticking with the goaltender themes, Marc-Andre Fleury. Do you
What's
want to just have a platform to, we'll just say his name and you can go on and on about him. He is my favorite person I have ever interacted
oh,
with and covered, I think. Hands down, just the most authentic, genuine human being. Everybody on the podcast already knows that. Kirsten almost fangirled over him yesterday because it was just, you want to be in his presence. He's just
Not
such a great.
almost. I did. I was arena level and he walked 2 feet away from me. And I was like, oh my God, that is Marc-Andre Fleury 2 feet in front of me right now.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys are treated to this because he's with you and it's been great. And you're that I would feel the same. I mean, it would be, there's just some guys, he's one of them, and it's, of course, it's a goaltender, where they could do no wrong in your eyes. I have one that people are shocked over because I grew up a Rangers fan. But the guy who could do no wrong with me, and he's not even a goalie, it's Sidney Crosby. I love this guy.
Mhm.
I was able to cover two of his cup wins, and this guy is perfect. He's just great with the media. He's a great human. He continues to be underpaid by choice with his 8.7 million a year to match his sweater jersey number. He's superstitious, which I love. And oh, by the way, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. We all know that. And he's loyal. And he's loyal. I mean, he's like a puppy, right? He's like,
Yeah.
no wonder I love him. You know what I mean? He's like, oh. Anyway, just throwing it out there just because. And then he was delivering season tickets by hand
Yeah.
to Pittsburgh. I mean, how do you not love this guy?
And they're
I
like
love,
Marc-Andre and Sydney are best friends.
and
Sid.
that's right. That's the
Yeah.
segue. They're still best friends. They still play pranks on each other. Mostly Marc-Andre Fleury, as you guys know, play the pranks on
So
Sid
good.
because he's the expert prankster. But I mean, you saw what he did for the Vegas Golden Knights. You know what I mean? He put them on the map early, when they were just born, and it was just wherever he goes, he has that reaction. What you guys just talked about, whatever team,
Yeah.
and with the Wild, I mean, it's great. I'm glad he's still there.
Yeah. No,
And to
it's
have
it,
that
it's
allure just with any fan base, any hockey fan is incredible and goes to show just his legacy and what kind of person he is. And also, really quick, because you brought up Sidney Crosby and Marc-Andre Fleury, this is so random, but it ties in kind of just because we're talking about those two. Were you reminded of the video that was circulating last week of Crosby sitting on the plane right next to Fleury? Fleury was getting interviewed, was talking, and then all of a sudden, Crosby's just sitting there distracted, looks at the guy in front of him and goes, dude, your
Ben Bish
face. And
or
it's
yeah.
swollen, looking like a little clip straight out of The Office. So that's all I could think about when you were talking about those two, Linda.
Oh, it's so great. I have to rewatch that. It's
Oh
making me
yeah.
laugh. Yeah, I go ahead, Jess. I just love that
Marc-Andre
kid.
says he still laughs about it. Like that exact moment. He's like, I could still picture it so vividly. They're like, they said it'd swell up a little bit when I got on the plane. And it's like, it did. It definitely
Yeah.
His
did.
face. Oof.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. So, yeah. What else? What else you got, Jess?
Seattle Kraken. They're going to
Right.
be in St.
Well, we're gonna
Paul.
get to it.
You've got, yes, let's talk. I have to
Let's talk
admit,
about
and
it.
I apologize. Kirsten and I weren't too high on our preseason predictions for the Kraken, but
Uh-oh.
that's just because we probably don't pay as
You're
close
wrong.
attention to them, right? I know. So tell me, give me the lowdown. Give us the lowdown on how the Kraken are going to be this season, and tell everybody a little bit about your involvement now with Seattle, which is
Yeah.
so exciting. We love it.
Yeah, I am very excited about it. Now, first of all, I'm still doing the late night ESPN Sports Center from LA. But I really miss being a part of a hockey team. And I wanted something as regular as I can get it without, because I'm not a robot. So I can do both things full time. I can do Sports Center and be the host of the Seattle Kraken, their new TV network, the Kraken Hockey Network. So I'm picking up about 15 games. The regular host Ian Furness, great guy. He's also new to the already existing fabulous broadcast team of the Kraken. So Ian Furness is the main host. So I'll do about 15 games when he's not working. And I'm really excited. Seattle, that city is important to me. Always will have a place in my heart. I worked, my big break in sports television is when I started working there way back when, way back when, before you guys were born. 1989 to 92, I worked at Cairo TV in Seattle, and I was the weekend sports anchor and weekday sports reporter. And it was a game changer for me. It really made me realize, oh, I could do this for a living. Before that, I wasn't sure, and it gave me that opportunity. And that's where ESPN spotted me doing my work in Seattle. So my daughter, I have two kids, amazing kids, both grown. My daughter was born there, and she still loves Seattle. She doesn't live there, but she lives here in LA. But it's important to me. And then when they put together a team, great organization, great ownership, it was always in the back of my mind, not only mine, but theirs. And we'll see what happens, as ESPN, the old things must come to an end someday. We'll see. But I really wanted to find a way, and I'm going, and, not that I need pats on the back, but it's my choice.
Yeah.
But to do this, I mean, I'm basically using my days off and vacation time so I can manage this and get, these Kraken games under my belt.
Nice.
And as for the Kraken and what I think, I'm really excited. Now, last year was they stepped back. Obviously, 2 years ago, nice little run in the playoffs, beat Colorado in the first round, lost in the second round. And then last year, big step back. Some of the, it's not all Dave Hackstall's fault, but some of the players like Matty Beniers took a step back. Jared McCann, guys that were like lighting the lamp, didn't have that kind of those stats last year. Number of factors as well, but there were a lot of good things that came out of last year. And one of those things, and of course, this is the goalie conversation, Joey Decord. He's great. I am a big fan of Joey Decord, and many people think, oh, it's going to be half 50-50 with Grubauer and blah, blah, blah. I know I'm supposed to be like, I have to say what I think, and I just think, barring injury, Joey Decord is going to get the bulk of the games. He has a tendency to make the big save at the right time. And the big moves by Ron Francis, his two biggest moves since the organization has really been in place, by signing Brandon Montour, fresh off a Stanley Cup win with Florida, to just improve that back line, improve that power play. And then getting a guy that I like a lot. I covered him when Vegas was making their run to the Cup final and winning it, Chandler Stevenson. You got to get into the postseason, but when you're in, that's when he shines the most. It's not about what you do in the regular season. But if there's any indication of what Chandler Stevenson brings, he has two cups, one with Washington, one with Vegas, is not only that Stanley Cup pedigree like Montour has now, but the fact that, he wins faceoffs. He wins faceoffs. And now all that pressure isn't on Matty Beniers to be the number one center. And they really have depth down the middle is what you need, for a team. And so I think that's a good start. And I think they're a sleeper. I got to say, they're a sleeper in the West.
Yeah.
They might bounce back. Yeah.
Well,
see them-
Linda, Jessie exposed me, herself and I should say, to try to have more proper grammar there earlier on. Jessie, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we had Seattle in the playoffs this upcoming season.
Did you
I
realize
don't-
they were in the league at the time?
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to round that out, I know you said you think they're a sleeper in the West. What are your projections for them early on?
Yeah, I mean, I left out the fact that Dan Bylsma is their head coach, and he's obviously won a cup with Pittsburgh. He led a successful AHL Coachella team, which is their AHL team, to a final. I really like Dan. He keeps it loose. He's a real players coach. He's the opposite of what Dave Hackstall was. And that's what happens usually with organizations. You guys see that. Usually when a coach is fired, you bring in a guy that's totally not like the other coach, and that's what this situation is. But, he's had success and players respect him. So he keeps it light. And I just think they can do it. I think they have enough to sneak in. They have a nice mix of, veterans, Ellie Tolvanen, Jared McCann, another one of my favorite players. These guys are going to bounce back. And a lot of things has to go right now. Philip Grubauer has to be good. Can't get hurt. You know, preseason means nothing, but he hasn't looked super sharp yet in the preseason. But it all comes down to the net minding. But I'm telling you, Kirsten, I think there's going to be a couple teams that step back in the West. You know, it's what we see every year, right? I mean, you know, we see it all the time. The Devils and Kraken last year stepped back, didn't make the playoffs after they made the playoffs and won a round. And then they look like, who is this team, right? And I just think these are the kind of teams that are going to jump back into the playoff mix. Now, you know, the Vancouvers of the world could step back this time. The type of thing, if you're just looking at the Pacific, the Kings could. No Drew Doughty, which is sad because he's a good guy, but he's out. So none of those situations would shock me if that happens. I think that's what's so great. We're always all surprised of the sleeper teams that get in where we didn't see it coming.
Right. How do you think the Utah Hockey Club is going to be? Shout out to them, by the way, for
Yeah.
announcing their affordable concession prices, which I absolutely love, like $2 water and $3 hot dog. Like, good on them, really making
Right.
it fan friendly. But that's another
Mhm.
team that I think Kirsten and I, in our preseason discussions and predictions, are a little unsure of, right? I mean, they're still carrying over a lot of what the Arizona Coyotes had, and it's, as you'd mentioned, for Seattle, you need some of those guys to take that next step forward. How do you think Utah is going to do in the West?
Yeah, I think they're going to be better than they were in Arizona. I think just the intangibles, right, of not playing in a mullet arena and playing in a big time arena and having fans come. And these fans are ready to embrace this team. They're very loyal. You can just tell. I mean, that community. It's kind of like how the Seattle fan base was. They're just so happy to get a hockey team
Yeah.
in the NHL. They're like, you know, unconditional love. You know, it's not going to be like big market team like, you know, New York, Philly, where they boo, you know, left and right, that kind of thing. That won't happen. So how are they going to do? Guys like Clayton Keller, he's so much fun to watch. He's just one of the many that are still on this team that will continue to make a difference. They're going to be fun, you know. They're playing with house money.
Mhm.
They're going to be better than they were. Are they going to make the playoffs? I don't think so. But they're going to like kind of like a pull. You know, they're going to make the month of early April and end of March. They're going to have their own little March Madness because this is where it's going to get good. Where they're going to really try. They're going to fall short of making the postseason. I think they're going to be in the mix late and make it interesting for those fans.
Mhm.
I personally don't have any on ice predictions for the Utah Hockey Club, but related, Post Malone, big Salt Lake City guy, lives there
Nice,
currently.
can't hurt.
I
Can't
see him
hurt.
becoming a big Utah Hockey Club fan
Mm.
at
You
some
know,
point
let's
this
talk
season.
about that. Let's talk about that. I think it's so important. I've had this conversation with Seattle people too, you know, when I was just talking about it's so important to have the celebrities involved. You know, whether it's music or other sports, just to get them in there and get them on the broadcast or get them seen and that they're of all the things they could be doing, like Post Malone, you know, of all the things he could be doing, he's going to a Utah Hockey Club game and yeah, and you could see how happy they are, you know, when they go. I forgot who else I saw recently that was like that. But anyway, yeah, I mean that can't hurt and it's going to be great. But yeah, that fan base is desperate for a hockey team and it's going to be tough getting into going in that building. I don't think anyone could just like they did with the and when they were Arizona.
Yeah.
They can't just take anything for granted, you know, when they go in there like they used to do when you visited Arizona.
Yeah. Bring it on. We need Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to break up then, Kirsten.
Oh,
Is that
let's do it.
correct? Right? Like, and then she can date a
I'm all
hockey
about
player?
it.
Yeah.
Can she date a
Listen, yeah.
Minnesota Wild player? Not only, honestly, I need Taylor Swift to date somebody on the Minnesota Wild. Maybe Jonas Brodin. He claimed to be a Swiftie at one point. Maybe that can be the connection there. But even more so, just even more importantly than the team doing well, if we had a Taylor Swift dating a player, so I could meet Taylor Swift, so I could be around her, maybe go up and hang out in the suite.
Well, I'm sorry. This is where I'm going to get into a fight with you, Kirsten.
Oh
Because
no.
I've been around longer than you. You know, and my daughter and I were Swifties back in '08. I don't know how long. I mean, we can get into it like a contest. So I've seen her multiple times. I kid around. Some people save their money and spend it on beautiful Hawaiian or European vacations. No, not me. I spend my money, thousands and thousands of dollars, on seeing Taylor Swift. Swift. Eras tour, floor seats when she was at SoFi with my daughter. But that's not enough. That's too long ago. That was back in August of 2023. I'm spending more money. I said to my daughter, I go, I'm more of a Swiftie than her now. Like I'm like nuts, and I'm like, I need to see her perform these songs from Tortured Poets Department. I'm sorry. I
Damn.
need to see that live. They're not all of the ones that she's doing. Two, I'm glad she's doing live. There's so many that she's not doing, which makes me, like The Prophecy and So Long London. I would kill for seeing those live. Maybe it'll be a surprise song. But anyway, I'm like, hey, she's going to be in Vancouver early December. Let's go to Vancouver. You've never been to Vancouver, Sammy. And she goes, yeah, let's make it a whole thing, a weekend. So literally, I could have gone Europe and back twice with the cost of these. I don't know what's wrong with me. You guys brought up Taylor Swift, so I had to go
hey,
on a
Linda,
tangent.
you
I'm
don't know
like,
your
I love
audience
her.
right now. You don't know
Yeah.
me. Like you said we were going to fight. I don't know whether to fight you because I'm so jealous you're going to go see her again. I haven't seen
I'm
her since
obsessed.
Minneapolis 2023 last summer. My life peaked then.
Right.
It's never been the same since. Linda, I did
Right.
not know this
Exactly.
about you. And like
Yes.
my respect for you, like, yes, like so
Oh,
respectable in the industry. Knowing you are a diehard Swiftie though,
die hard.
if
Die
you
hard.
need,
If
I'm
she
gonna
only
fit myself
knew.
in your carry-on and sneak to Vancouver with
Yes,
you.
I know. If she only knew. And you know what my little hope is, and this is so self-serving, and usually, Jesse knows me. Like I'm not a self-serving person, but when it comes to Taylor, the only reason why I was happy she was dating Travis Kelce was like maybe they're in bed one night and Sports Center's always on. Kelce has it on somewhere in the background. Maybe, just maybe I'm on because I do the late night and they're up late, and maybe, just maybe she turns to Travis and says, hey, who's she? She's pretty good, like they're watching. And that would be me. And I would just like, absolutely, yeah. I would be like out of my mind, groupie sounding if I had that opportunity not to fall over myself. I just think she's amazing. And the songs I like, I know people are like, why are they still talking about Taylor Swift?
No, you trust me, Linda. This is like Kirsten's whole thing. If she mentions Taylor Swift at least
Oh,
once an episode
oh my
first.
God. Well, Kirsten,
I could
we'll
talk
have
about
to
this for
exchange some.
hours with you,
All I
Linda.
do is watch Instagram videos constantly.
Yep. Okay, Linda, real
Sound
quick on
familiar?
this.
Yes, go ahead.
I need to know favorite song off Tortured Poets before Jesse makes
Well,
us move on from Taylor Swift.
it's okay. It's The Prophecy, because if you listen to
Ooh,
those lyrics, that's my life. And she
really?
nailed it. She nailed it. That's what I love about her. Because I was going to get into, obviously the albums that hit home for me are the ones she did, like like a superwoman that she is during COVID, Folklore and Evermore. And I'm like, oh my God, these are
Mhm.
amazing songwriting. But The Prophecy, I couldn't believe it. And it just, what's your favorite? I guess I'll keep talking about myself.
There's two that stand out more than anything. The Smallest
Yes.
Man Who Ever Lived off of the main Tortured Poets.
Yes, yes.
Actually, there's three. The other
Yeah,
two off of
I
the
have more.
anthology, The Black Dog and So High School. Those
Yeah,
are my really big ones right now. It's hard to pick. Those are my top ones.
yeah.
Guilty as Sin, so underrated.
So, okay, well said. Sorry, Jess, we're continuing our
No, this
conversation. No, I
carry on.
gotta continue.
I'm
I
gonna go
gotta
do
add
some
more.
errands real quick.
All
I'll come
right,
back in
please.
like 20 minutes, half hour. You guys
My
good?
other favorite, my second favorite, Kirsten,
Mhm.
from that album is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, because it is
Amazing
so
taste, Linda.
empowering. And when she screams it, and I'm like, you're ready to say, yeah, big F you, right?
Absolutely.
Like, and she's speaking my language, but your choices were also right on point. And I wanted to not like So High School because it was all about Kelsey, but it's really a cute song. It's really
So
cute,
good.
especially like for your age group, because that's what she, refers to as like watching American Pie and all these different things, like in the lyrics. And my daughter loves Black Dog in it because that's great. And then there's another one that my daughter, what's the one? Oh God, I'll think of it. Love of My Life. Not Love
Loss
of
of My Life.
Yes.
LOML.
Yes. That's it. That is so sad. I find
Mhm.
myself crying. All right. I don't want to bring it down, but all right,
I
Kirsten, we
need
know
Travis
that.
Kelce to do better for my fantasy team. How about that? Let's worry about
Oh,
that
he was
too, Mr.
great. He was
Kelce.
great
Yesterday was good.
yesterday.
Finally,
Well,
finally.
have Mahomes throw him the ball. I mean, what
That's true.
can we just talk about that for 2 seconds?
Yeah. it's
I
tough.
mean, everyone's like, oh, what's wrong with Travis Kelce? How about throwing him the ball? I mean,
Mhm.
what? And I love Patrick Mahomes. I get it. He's great. All right. All right, great. He's great, but he hasn't looked great, but he's doing enough. If he didn't have Travis Kelce, different narrative. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That guy, it's just unbelievable. They would not have as many rings they'd have. I mean, to me, he really won that Super Bowl. He was the reason they beat
Yeah.
the Ravens, first of all. And then Patrick did the rest of the Super Bowl. But anyway, we digress.
We digress. It happens sometimes.
Yeah,
That's what's great about
right.
this pod. That's what we do. We go out.
That's why you guys are great. And listen, I don't know if let's put a bow on the Travis and Taylor. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's going to last, but I'm glad that she appears happy with him. And that's what
Yes.
matters to me.
Exactly. And he does too. So there we go.
Oh, yeah.
And not that the NFL needs help getting attention, but it does. It brings a new fan base in. That's why I want her to date a hockey player. We talked about the
Yes, let's get
celebrities,
back
right?
to
It's
that.
bringing new people in. Like that's
So
super
many
fun.
candidates. They'd be lining up around the block to
Yes,
be with her. Lining up.
I know. I
Can
mean, have
set
you
up with a
seen?
nice man from the wild.
We've talked about it before, Linda. If just take a
Yeah.
look at Henrik Lundqvist and tell me that
Oh,
that doesn't interest or appeal you. You're only human, right? Like
well,
that's just let's
she's not a homewrecker. He's
Mm.
happily married to a beautiful woman. They have 3 kids.
Oh yeah.
But
I know.
there's
But
nothing
that
wrong
just
with him.
he can be an example of like this is what we can offer is some that look like him. Maybe,
Right.
some others
Exactly.
we'll keep keep away, but otherwise we'll be fine.
Yeah, I just don't think she has uncovered that area in her life. I don't think she realizes about hockey players that they're just different.
They're just in the best possible way, which is what we love
Yeah.
in the hockey fans and people around the game. Final question, Linda, before we go.
Okay. Okay.
The Minnesota Wild. That's the
Oh
team
yeah,
that we
them.
know.
Oh
Those
yeah.
guys who play your Seattle Kraken then next weekend
Right.
in game
That's
2 of the
right.
season. How do you think they're going to do? We've talked about the salary cap to an extent. It's the same roster coming back from last year. Although you're getting a
Yeah.
healthy Jared Spurgeon, you're hoping some guys have bounce back years, and you're hoping that goaltending is not a problem as it was
Right.
last year. Philip Gustafson
That's
does
it.
things. Are the Wild going to make the playoffs? Kirsten and I go back and forth. They're very much a bubble team still, in our opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. But they do have Kirill Kaprizov, who we all know we're all big fans of this guy. As long as he stays healthy, you always have a chance. It's really true. He's not talked about enough, I think. I think because it's Minnesota, perhaps.
Mhm.
I don't know. They should talk about it more because it's Minnesota.
Yeah.
But the goaltending is my big issue with them. I mean, you just need a guy to make a big save at the right time. And it didn't happen as much as you wanted it last year. And those big games, it was nowhere to be found. But I do love that Bill Guerin brought that same group back. It just shows that, hey, we believe in you. We know last year was a hiccup. You can get this done. But the big question is, your aspiration should be winning a Stanley Cup. So even if you get in the postseason, it might be a one and done situation.
Mhm.
Maybe he has some ideas at the trade deadline, depending on how it goes. If
Right.
they can pull off the math.
Yeah. It's tough. Like I think that's the struggle. I mean, you have some of these guys that are a bit older who are kind of log jamming some of those young prospects that you're very excited about coming in.
Right.
And yeah, you need to add to that scoring depth. Matt Boldy should be ready for the season opener, currently hurt with a lower body injury, but things should be okay there. Jules Eric's next coming into his own. Brock Faber has been a heck of a deal for Kevin Fiala. We love that, but they're
Yeah.
still missing those elements to get
Yeah.
past and be a cup runner. They want to make the playoffs. That's all fine and well, but what do you
Right.
do
You've been
after
there,
you do
done
it?
that. You've
Yes.
seen that already. That's been
Yes.
done multiple times.
Exhausting.
Yeah. It's draining. I know.
Terrible. Well, cool. Well, Linda, you are the best. Are you coming to Minnesota? Or are we going to see you this way
No,
at all this
no,
season?
no, you're not. I will be, I don't know. I'd like to, we always talk about me coming out there and you always give
do.
me an open invite
Yes.
and it would be great,
I even
I
did you
know.
see my Mark Messier jersey in the back too? Like I even have my Rangers
I
love.
do see
Kirsten.
it. You do.
I love my Rangers.
Yes,
I'll support them
Rangers
with
are
you.
amazing. I know this has to be the year with that core group. It
It
has to
has to
be.
be.
They're
Do you
bringing back
think
the same people.
do you think it's who's your Stanley Cup Finals prediction?
I don't know. I haven't get you're giving me stress, Jess. I don't know.
It's here,
I can't.
Linda.
I
We're
can't.
here. We're
I,
here. The season is starting. I'm
see, the
so
thing is,
excited.
when I say the Rangers, everyone's like, "Oh, because Linda, you're a Ranger fan." Ugh."
No.
And maybe it is. Maybe for a change, it is the Rangers.
I-
I don't know. I haven't given it thought yet. I know it's here, but it's not here yet. We
Yeah.
have another what week?
You have another
October
week of
4th.
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be
it's
fine.
almost here. I don't know.
Mhm.
I honestly haven't made my picks yet. I'm
Mm.
sorry.
It's
I know
okay.
you want me to make.
You'll
I
get
should have
back
been
to
more
us.
prepared
That's
instead
okay.
of talking to you about my favorite, Taylor
we went.
Swift's tortured poets. So, one more question for Kirsten
Oh,
regarding this.
yes, please.
My daughter and I were convinced, though, we could have done without the last 5 songs. I mean, this is what Taylor does. Like, she actually could have stopped at one album, not made it a double. I mean,
Wait, the
but
last 5 songs on the anthology.
yes, like Clara Bow, the other ones that I never play. I literally don't play them. I don't do
Linda,
anything for me.
that's a dagger to the heart because Clara Bow, The Manuscript, Peter, So Slept On. Those are some of my favorite songs. I think I could do without like
Wow.
Robin
Yeah,
or
like Robin, I don't care about. Yeah, I don't know. I can give or take those, but you know what? I trust your judgment. Maybe I'll give it
Linda.
another listen.
Linda, we're gonna meet up at a hockey game this season. I suppose we'll bring Jessie along.
Yes.
I'm so glad I could introduce you guys. I'm glad you guys are really
Yes.
hitting it off. This is great.
Thank
This
you
is
No,
so
now,
much,
now
Jessie.
I'll have.
Linda, we can
we'll have-
talk all Taylor Swift at a hockey game.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's amazing.
Taylor Swift featuring a hockey game being played.
It's amazing. Can I just say one more thing about Taylor?
Yes. Of course.
Is the fact that the first time I saw her with my daughter was the Speak Now tour.
Amazing.
And I loved that album. And what kills me about the Eras tour, she only plays Enchanted.
Mhm.
And I love Haunted with all of my heart.
Yep.
And there's so many great songs in that album. And that's the only thing that Taylor disappoints me. That I don't know, why is that? She didn't give that. I don't know why. I mean, she didn't give it her its just due. Yeah, Enchanted and one other song she plays from that one. I don't know, I can't think of it. But
Long Live.
so she plays Long Live.
Not anymore. She took it off the set list, but it was temporarily on there. Best vault
Yeah.
tracks from Speak Now, I also
Yeah,
will say.
it makes me cry. Long
Yep.
Live, because it's an ode to her fans.
Mm-hmm. It's an ode to
They're all
us,
just
Linda.
words. They're just words
Yeah.
to me right now. I have no idea.
It's an ode to me and Linda. That's all you need to know.
That's right. And Kirsten, you'll have to kind of help Jess out here. That
I'm
it's
trying
all
my
without
very
the
best.
I've
words.
tried. Yes.
Okay.
I
Well-
went to the Eras tour when it was in Minnesota. I had a friend, and I knew some of the songs, although the most panic stricken I've ever been. I had a young girl ask me, she's like, "What era are you?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And I just quickly I was like, "I think I'm Lover, right?" And she's like,
Right.
"Yeah,
Also
you're
great.
definitely that." And
Good
she's like, "What
answer.
era do you think I am?" And I was like, "I have no idea at all. Like, I'm just here for some beer and some music. Like, I don't know." And it was great.
Did you make her? You may probably made her cry.
I got it right.
Okay, Jess.
Okay.
If I didn't like you already, I would frown upon what you just said.
I
Because
know.
you have taken a seat away from someone who is like Kirsten and I, who will kill at any time, spend all our life savings
I
to
know,
go to
I'm
this. And
sorry.
here.
Linda, do you see what I work with every single week?
It's very challenging.
I committed to the experience. So like I dressed up. I was like, we made bracelets. Like I committed to
Okay,
the
all right.
whole thing.
But you
Just
didn't
to-
commit to getting on your Spotify or Apple Music and say, hey, at least I'm going to find out the set list and listen to those songs
Well, I
and
knew
have a
some,
clue.
right? Because I grew up with her. Like she was very. I mean, Tim McGraw was right in my. Like she. I think we're like
Fearless,
the same. Her and I
that
are
whole
the same
thing. Yeah,
age.
yeah, and that
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
right.
You know, there were
But
moments. I
she,
had to,
yes, but so much has changed since
so
that.
much has
But
changed.
yes.
Exactly.
All I'm
Recognize
saying is
this.
after the first wild preseason game, me and my friends may or may not have shut down a bar on West 7th performing Teardrops in My Guitar to karaoke.
Oh, very impressive.
See?
We have a good time here in St. Paul. Linda, come on out. You can join
I
us.
know, I have to.
All the
I would
time.
be honored and
State high
flattered.
school tournament. I think I tell you that every year. You have to come for the
You
tournament.
do, I know. Can we just remind me so I can figure this
Yeah.
out? Life's too
Girls'
short. I know-
weekends.
I'm all about that. So much fun. All right. I've kept you longer. It's your podcast.
You
but I
are
kept-
no, I love it. This is the best. Again, I'm so glad that you and Kristen now can be best friends and not me. It's fine. It's no big deal. My feelings aren't hurt. Whatever. It's fine. As always, Linda, you're the best though, for real.
All right.
Cannot wait to see how the Kraken do this season. We can't wait for hockey to get started. Once you have your predictions, let me know. I picked
right,
the Rangers
yes.
and the Stars. That's what we're going with. That's
Wow,
just
Stars. I do like Jake Ottinger.
my
So that's
Minnesota
fun.
fans do not care for my Stars
Yeah, I
affiliation.
give you a credit for going on a limb there, especially pissing off your fan base. But
So
And
many
me,
times.
her
yeah.
co-host.
Every time. They're so good though. And me and Tyler Sagan are best friends now, so it's like
Oh, well, there it is. That's the
Can't.
difference. There you go. That's the game changer. That's all you had to say, Jess.
exactly. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's episode. As always, thanks to Miss Linda. We appreciate you. Thank you to everybody for checking us out. Shout out to Talk North, Greenbelt, Royal Credit Union, Livea, Jim Beam. Cheers to hockey, guys. We're back. We're back, baby. Go listen to some Taylor Swift while you're watching if you want. It's all good. We love it. Bye.